Salutations, my Fallout lovers. It is Matty here today bringing you a Fallout 4 news update. Now, before anything, be sure to check out the link in the description of my previous video. Those are some of the transformations between Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, so if you want to see the difference, be sure to check that out in the link down below. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, Game Informer released an article that said 19 new details fans need to know about Fallout 4, and obviously that got people riled up. I gave it a look, and most of it was just reiterations of stuff that we've seen in the press conference from Bethesda, or stuff I've already covered. But there were 7 brand new standout details that I did want to bring to you guys here today, so I'm going to go ahead and mash together all these details into one video instead of splitting them up and whatnot and discussing them separately. So without further ado, let's get into today's video where we discuss 7 brand new details that will excite you about Fallout 4. Let's start off with number 1. Fallout 4 is the most detailed, dense environment Bethesda has made to date. The world has so much content, even game director Todd Howard hasn't seen everything in the game. That's insane. Let's start off with another thing, and Lone Vault Wanderer actually just made a video on this talking about how this game has over 400 hours of content when a lead producer of the game claimed he has 400 hours in the game and hasn't seen everything. So this game is already well bigger than Skyrim, or is on its way to be bigger than Skyrim rather, and that's just incredible that they haven't seen anything in the game and they're working on the damn thing. That shows how dynamic and radiant this game can truly be. Moving on to the next detail, Fallout 4's narrative has a lot more branching paths and overlapping, if that, then this, than Fallout 3. They want to have the game handle all fail states of missions instead of forcing players to reload saves. So what's great about this is mainly the branching paths in the story. And if it's on par with New Vegas or a little bit better, I'm going to be very, very, very pleased, Bethesda, because honestly, that was one of the kind of, I guess, letdowns of Fallout 3, if you want to call it that. As the game aged, you realized that it didn't really factor in as much player choice as New Vegas did, where there were so many endings, there was everything incorporated from side stuff. It really felt impactful, whereas Fallout 3's was more emotional. It was a good story, but it just didn't have a lot of factor in, you know, there was like a choice or two that you had to make, and one of them came like right at the end. So it was like, there wasn't much to it. So to see that they're focusing on branching paths so that when this happens and this happens and that happens, and you know, it just kind of keeps going off more and more, is absolutely awesome, where everyone can get at least a different experience their first time through, and then when they're talking about it, they might inspire others to play again. It's awesome. I love that because, you know, obviously, you know, that first playthrough, you're going to beat the story, then you're going to keep exploring the wasteland, do all the side stuff, and you're gonna be like, all right, I want to try a new build, and it's like, all right, now I'm gonna try an evil karma build, you know. And it's just, that's what's so great about Fallout games, is that there's something special about it where you just constantly keep like building upon and branching out with all these things. So to see Bethesda enforcing that is absolutely awesome. Moving on to the next detail that we've heard before, but it adds a little variable here that might throw some of us off guard. Fallout 4 has a full weather system that sends radiation storms across the world. Say what? I never thought this would happen. A lot of people always said like it would be really cool if Fallout 4 had like acid rain because of the radiation that'd be stuck in the clouds, and I'm like, I don't really see that happening, and it seems it is happening. There is a location that Todd Howard talked about called the Glowing Scene. That's where the bomb fell in Boston, so it seems quite interesting that that's probably where it's all going to come from mainly, and I find it really cool that radiation storms are going to be a thing. I'm imagining right now, like I'm probably totally off of like this like lime green rain falling from the sky. It could look really cool, especially in VATS when you slow down time and stuff. Ugh, I can't wait. Moving on to the next detail, and a very interesting one. Bethesda is tweaking the way auto-scaling works for Fallout 4 to create more challenge. We call it rubber banding. We'll have an area where enemies scale from level 5 to 10, and then this area will go to level 30 and above. Howard says, you'll run into stuff that will crush you, and you will have to run away. Now, initially when I heard this detail, I thought to myself, I kind of just like Bethesda games because I like to just go wherever I want and not be stopped, and just kind of let my will to explore be the stopping point. But now it seems like the game can actually stop us by killing us. And like I said, at first I kind of had a smidge of an issue with it, and I still kind of do. But then I thought back to The Witcher 3, and I highly recommend you play that game, because now you'll get a good idea of what Fallout 4 is going to be like in this respect. Because in The Witcher 3, you know, you'll go to these areas and you'll be like level 9, but this enemy will be like level 15, and it'll just kick your ass, and you'll be like, oh, well shit, I gotta come back later. But then once you level up, you start focusing on other things because the game is so rich with content, and then you come back and like you just feel so much better about yourself that you're like able to go through this whole slew of caves and stuff and be like, all right, cool, I did that. And then you'll run to the next challenge, you'll go back, you level up, and then you'll come back, and it's like this cycle that is like on paper it sounds tedious and it looks annoying, but when it's actually implemented properly, which I'm assuming Bethesda Game Studios will do, it could be very good for Fallout 4. Moving on to the next detail, number 5. As you could see in the trailer, Fallout 4 introduces new modes of transportation in the form of the gunship, but Howard says they aren't doing cars or anything as well, which is very relieving, I guess is the right word to say, to hear, because I always thought that cars were for Mad Max, but cars wouldn't fit in Fallout. I feel like, especially in a Bethesda Game Studios game, it would kind of make things a little too easy personally. But nonetheless, this is a question that a lot of viewers had, was that, okay, well, we're seeing gunships. Is there going to be cars now? Especially because there's the garage in Fallout 4 that they're kind of hammering down. It's like, are we going to be able to, you know, put a car in there and then work on it inside there? And it seems like Bethesda's decided to go away from that, but stick with being able to man a minigun on a vertibird. That sounds cool to me, people. But no, that's kind of relieving to hear. I can understand, like, gunships could be used as a form of fast travel, whereas cars, I feel like the world would be too cramped with, like, settlements and stuff where it just wouldn't work. Moving on to the 6th detail, which was released before this arc was released, companions have always played a role in Fallout games, and that extends into the new game as well. So far, Bethesda has only shown off your trusty K9 Dogmeat, who Todd Howard confirmed will not be killed off in a crew faction, but we expect to see others as well. So what I want to focus on is the fact that your companions cannot die. So much like in previous Fallout games, they will just naturally go into an unconscious state. Their health bar drops to 0, and then they'll wake up after the battle, provided you have survived. So this is one that a lot of people want to know, but specifically to what's it called, Dogmeat, it's quite interesting that they've already said that they're not going to kill him off, and I feel like they're talking about that in a story sense as well, because most people, you know, you put the dog in the story because you think to yourself, well, you know, oh, we're going to make the gamer cry because, you know, everyone feels bad for dogs and whatnot. So it seems like this dog will live throughout the entire story. Hooray for Dogmeat. Yeah. And moving on to the final 7th detail. When you play a modded version of this game, the game will make a copy of your save files, so your pure state save game will be preserved. And this is awesome news to hear, that it won't just overwrite everything on your system, whether you're playing PC, Xbox One, or PS4. It seems Bethesda's kind of thought of a way where you'll have this preserved save state, so that if your game gets corrupt because of too many mods or certain mods don't work with each other, that you don't have to just go in and absolutely delete your entire save character, and that your normal save without any mods will be put to the side for if anything has to get deleted, which is some relieving information. But anyways, those are 7 brand new details that I wanted to share with you guys in this video today, so be sure to let me know what you're thinking on all of them in the comments down below. Other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, links down below. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.